The latest from our daily newsletter at podnews.net. Audioboom has launched Showcase, its global advertising marketplace. It offers advertisers access to more than 8,000 podcast channels for dynamic advertising and gives podcasters the opportunity to reach more than 2,000 ad buyers. Social podcasting platform Callin has announced a number of live podcast shows, including journalist Glenn Greenwald. Chartable has added additional remarketing pixels for smart links. You can now add TikTok pixels or Google Tag Manager to your smart links, helping you earn more about your podcast's marketing. What are the best Portuguese podcasts in the world? The results of the 2021 Pods Awards were announced earlier this week. We link to those from our show notes and our newsletter today. Research from the Pew Research Center suggests that more Americans are getting their news from podcasts. It's the only digital news platform to be in growth, says the data. In Boston, WBUR's City Space Productions is expanding into branded podcasting. More Canadians are listening to podcasts, says new data from Signal Hill Insights. Jeff Vidler also says that French-Canadian podcasts are showing the biggest growth. And also in Canada, the Hot Docs Podcast Festival is returning to Toronto next January as a hybrid event. If you're a Canadian emerging audio creator, the Hot Docs Podcast Career Accelerator is now open for submissions, as well as the opportunity to get your shows heard at the festival. And Australian broadcaster SCA has invested in a US dynamic advertising company called Frequency. In People News, Chad Holloat has finished up as Director of Data for Art19. He'll be working for Apple, though not in the podcast division, sadly. And coincidentally, or not, Art19 are currently hiring.
I have it on very good authority that the quest for perfection our society demands can leave the individual gasping for breath at every turn.
Princess Diana would have been 60 this year, and CNN has launched When Diana Met. Hosted by Animato So, the show digs into her most notable meetings with public figures. Teachers run their own businesses as well as spend time in the classroom. Teacher by Trade is a new podcast that launches today from Kelly Harrison. Produced by Piccolo Podcasts, it's to encourage other teachers with business ideas. And the Australian podcast ranker for October has a new number one podcast. Audioboom's Case File returns to the number one slot. It's represented by ARN's iHeart Podcast Network Australia, which remains number one for podcasts in the country. And that's the latest from our daily newsletter. For all the links, we're at podnews.net.